Hi guys, today I have something very different for you. I've been given a very special task to create some things kind of specific, but with my creative freedom for our D&D campaign. So I thought I'd record myself doing this. Maybe you guys like this, maybe you don't, but it's kind of like a cozy build video. So here I'm using Tiny Glade, which is on Steam. Tiny Glade's just kind of like a cozy builder. There's no like real objective. You just kind of can build, little things like this, as you can see. I've never actually used Tiny Glade before, so I'm learning as I'm building here in this video a lot about it, and I think I pick up the pace pretty fast as I kind of understand how it works, because I am a Sims builder lover, however you want to say it. So this game was a lot of fun as well. So my task for our campaign was to build a isolated house in the snow woods, and it can be a full house or a cabin. Just needs to be a little bit on the larger side, and everything besides that is up to my creative freedom. So as you know, I am very creative, and I went in. I went crazy. Okay. So here's the sheep. As I'm trying to figure out kind of what I want to do, I went on Pinterest just to look at, some snowy cabins and buildings. Nothing that really specifically fit what I could build in this game, but just gave me some ideas of kind of how I want it to look. So I was going to try to stick with like red and green colors, obviously, because it's just going to be a kind of side quest for the Christmas like special. But I didn't really like the reddish color. It's a little more like orange. It's a little too orange for me, and I didn't think it paired well. But I really liked the green, like wood with the darker brick color. I think they complements each other a little better, or it's a little more like neutral and not too funky. So yeah, so I stick with the green throughout the whole build. I did really like that color. And here I'm just trying to place these little random things that kind of spawn and pop up to give it a little more character. I'm thinking like the DM can make these little lootable objects or, something like that for me and the other few players. I really like these windows, and of course I had to put Christmas wreath over, but I think these like pointed windows give it more of a like medieval spooky vibe. So I decided to go with those instead of the square one. And now here I started playing with the landscape because I'm like, oh, the land's kind of flat and boring. Let me see what I can do if I can add some height to it before I finish building the house. But what I realized is that you can actually just adjust the height and add the trees all in without really like disturbing the actual building. Like it goes up really easily. So I didn't make enough space, and I also felt that this building that I'm building or creating is probably lived in. I'm kind of imagining like either elves or evil Santa or something like that. Evil something. And so there wouldn't be probably so many trees too concentrated close to the building because it's probably been cleared out. And then, so I just get rid of the height and I decide that I'll probably just add it in afterwards since it's real easy to adjust. And I don't really know my specific structure plan for the building, so I just want to free build and then I can add like some height in the ground afterwards. So here, I saw the little like, I want to say trapdoor, but it's not necessarily a trapdoor, more like a basement door pop up only on this like platform. You can really put it on the ground here, and I really wanted to use that, so I was like, I want to build this, but I don't want it to just be clearly visible from the front view. Again, I kind of want it to be something that is discovered. Could be another entrance, or maybe the DM locked, I don't know. My thought was like that it could lead to the basement. I add this like circular building with the pointy top because I think it gives it more, it feels more like old, medievalish, a little spooky. think this definitely adds to the vibe of the place that it just, I don't know, it feels like it just feels kind of dark to me with a pointy roof on that one. So, and then here I'm trying to experiment with the two-story. And while doing this, I find that there's another way to make a door without placing the windows. You can actually use the path to connect to the wall and it makes like a giant door. So that gave me another idea for later that I add towards the back of this house. But for now, I'm just going to try to find a way to cover the little like basement-y type door, but make it not super obvious. I really liked how this like stone wall looked. It's kind of random, but I don't know. It just fit with the look in the end. So I just lower it a little bit so maybe it looks more like a fence and put the light over it to kind of give like a hint that something is there, but you can't see it unless you go all the way around and look, right? And then I didn't just want this to be like a plain wall. I want it to be a window that somebody could look through, or it could cause trouble if people are snoop around and go to the side. I think another hint that I thought also I learned some of these things through my school and the game art degree I am pursuing right now with environment building. But like light really directs the player as well as the pathing too, so that's why I added that pathing on the side. Kind of shows, you know, like it's been walked through a couple times, so it kind of like leads to that area. So here in the back, of course, I had to add another one of those big like round structured buildings, and this is where I decide to put this giant door that you can make when the path connects like to the wall. My vision was kind of like maybe this is the area where there's like some kind of giant, I don't know, evil elf Santa raid boss thing. Yeah, and then it like spawned that sign and the barrel, so I thought I'd copy these and kind of place them around again to like give it a little more character. Adding these little windows at the top. I wanted to add like a singular one to show, I don't know, I think it makes it look more like dungeony, but it just, I don't know. I felt that these skinny tall ones look more aesthetic, so I just went with that instead of like one singular tiny square. I think it still gives a dungeony look, but like maybe a little less dungeony, maybe just more artistic. Now I'm trying to like fill the middle of the space in, because of course I want it to be two-story, but I want to keep the balcony on the side and have something in the back to kind of fill in the house. This is also where I learned that you can make the roof more rounded or like more sharp and like deflated. And yeah, so then I find that you can also do this. You can make these archways through the side of the buildings or even on the stone wall. So that gave me another idea. Why don't I try to make like a secret entrance on this side? So it's also not visible from the front, but from the side, if you go through, I add a lantern inside and you can see that there is a secret door under there. And then once I take a look of for my house in the front, I kind of realized there's like this weird gap in the middle, so I'm trying to fill it out to make it look like this balcony type thing connects. So I add this random door and it spawns a ladder, like a perfect thing. So I place this ladder in that gap between like that middle walk area and then the bottom so that, you know, you that to go up and down. Or sometimes, I don't know, our in our campaign, we pick up like really random items, so who knows if maybe we carry the ladder and we use it for something else. I have no idea. But now I know that putting windows and doors or connecting things, they spawn little other items and you can like unlink it from that and move it around or copy it and paste it somewhere else too. One of the random items I got was that basket of like food and I set it in front of the door, the giant door. This was an idea of like maybe the creature that is in there or whatever it is, it's kind of like an offering, which is why like I put this big old stone wall around it to make it maybe encaged, but that doesn't make sense because the door is so big that if it if the stone wall was meant to keep it in there, a really tall wall, and I didn't really want it to be that noticeable. I wanted it to be just something in the back that if the players like traveled back there, they would be like, oh, okay, that doesn't look right. Like, that's kind of weird. Why is there a big old door, right? But yeah, so that's what that is. And then I go in and I start adding the windows and trying to get some aesthetic design in the back and fill it in. While getting these the little random items that pop up, I start filling it in, giving it more character, and then a pumpkin spawns. And if you know me, you know that I love pumpkins. So I had this idea that I would use them to kind of veer players off into the woods area. And I did want to use some water just to see what it looked like. So I spawned a little bit of water, and it's kind of like a frozen pond. And I placed a trail of pumpkins all the way to it, and then also one in the middle. And my idea was that maybe there's gonna be like, if we decide to go there, it's gonna be some kind of special loot for all of us, or maybe a special weapon. But then I also had the idea to take for this thing, and then I moved it to the back where that pond was, because I thought this could kind of be like, maybe, okay, I was thinking kind of like, COD Zombies, where you like upgrade you pack a punch your weapon. I'm thinking like maybe we go back there and there's that hammer or something, and all of a sudden we can pack a punch our weapon and we get like a boost to our weapon, or maybe, I don't know, some added buff or something like that. It was kind of what I was trying to go for, but I don't know. I guess that's up to the DM, and we shall see how that goes. I just put it there for a little bit of reference. So this was the final look of the house. Now I'm just kind of adding some hills because I feel like it's really boring and flat, and you always gotta have a little bit of oomph in there, you know? So this was the final look of the little house. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.